take a look at some awards, shall we? The All-NBA first team announced. There it is. SGA, Jokic, Antetokounmpo, Tatum, and Mitchell. SGA, Jokic, Giannis, Tatum, all unanimous. You got the first team right, Chandler, by the way. I don't know if you're surprised for that. But, Lou, you had LeBron on first team instead of Donovan Mitchell. So
yeah.
What'd you think? You good?
Yeah, I think that was pretty solid. I had LeBron based on timing. At the time that I did that, I thought he was playing really good basketball. I thought he was the best player on the Lakers. He was the reason for a lot of the success that they was having. And it was also legacy, right? Like if LeBron is in the conversation, if he's close by, I felt like he would probably get that nod over Donovan Mitchell. And so I went against popular belief, and I went with LeBron. But I like where the first team is.
Yeah, I think the standings being so close in the West is the only thing that kind of kept LeBron out of that. You know what I mean? Like 3 to 8.
That seems unfair, though, doesn't it?
If they were a stamped, guaranteed 3 or 2 seed in the West,
at that time they were 3 at the time that I put that vote.
But also Donovan Mitchell, the historic start that the Cavs had. They're talking about breaking the record from the team of when LeBron was there. So I feel like these awards, they usually they treat winning, which is weird because when we get the second team, that's not what they did. But the first team, I think Donovan Mitchell, he was the best player on the best team all year long. Besides the Oklahoma City Thunder, they were the best team in the Eastern Conference. So I think he deserved it.
My pet peeve with all these awards, honestly, we live in a society of just really, really short attention spans. Like, just do this right when the season ends. Just nobody remembers anything past yesterday, so it's kind of silly. But all right, let's do the second team, shall we? This is fun. This is a fun list to look at. You got Jalen Brunson, you got Steph, you got Ant. There's your LeBron and Evan Mobley, Chandler.
There's one glaring guy that got smoked out of this, and it's Cade Cunningham. He averaged, I think more points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks than Steph Curry, and I think he deserves it more than three or four of those guys. I think the year he had is unbelievable, and again, he's still got third team. He's still got a huge bonus there, which I would love to talk about later too, but I think he's the one that was left off here. But
you both had Cade too, didn't you?
Yeah.
Like that. Okay.
Yeah. I'm agreeing with you. I think Cade is one of those guys. I feel like Sengun should have been in the conversation as well for either second or third team based on the year that they were having. But Cade for sure. I think this is highway robbery. They had to find somewhere for Cade to be in this second group. I thought he deserved it. Thought he had a better year than Steph overall, but again, this comes down to legacy stuff, right? And so you have those conversations. That's why I gave LeBron the nod, because of legacy, because of what these guys have been able to do over the course of their career. But I think Cade Cunningham was also one of those guys that should have been on his second team.
And even Evan Mobley, like, listen, he had a great year, and the jump he made was super impressive. Statistically, there's just no way he should be on second team over Cade Cunningham.
I find it interesting that when we did this back in the day, you both had Jalen Brunson on third. I feel like you would have changed that by now, right?
Again, when does the vote? When does it stop? Like I don't know the timeline. I don't know what the deadline. But
literally
Jalen
the
Brunson,
last day.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long ago we did this, but
like a week before the season ended, or maybe a couple weeks. I don't know.
Yeah, listen, Jalen Brunson, you could argue he could be first team. Like, he's had an unbelievable year. They're still playing, which I think that also matters. Then we get to third team, you see Tyrese Halliburton.
It warps us.
It does. So it kind of distorts our perception of what's happening and when the timetable of when the votes stopped and started. So I don't know that exact date, but Jalen Brunson deserves to be second team.
At the least. Okay, so let's do the third team, shall we? You mentioned Tyrese Halliburton. He's up there. There's your Cade. James Harden, Kat, and Jalen Williams. Is there a surprise here, Lou, that sticks out that you're like, why is this person not on there?
Again, I only make my case for Sengun.
Fair.
For him not to make any of these teams is kind of crazy. We got to figure out what are we rewarding again. They were a consistent second seed. He was the best player on that team. He had an all-star year. How does he not make this? How does he not make any of these teams? And so
the Rockets got nobody.
Yeah, nobody. And I don't understand that when it's guys that are before and after them in rankings and in seeding that have guys to represent them on one of these three teams. How does he not make any of them? So I don't understand that.
Well, then who comes off, Chandler?
It makes no sense. Think about it. This guy led a 52-win team, the 2 seed, pretty much all season long. He's the only guy to average 19, 10, 5 that didn't get it. 3 of the 4 guys made it. He's the 4th. He did not make it. So I think Sengun, you have to have the reason Donovan Mitchell made first team is because their team was good, and this guy doesn't make any team, and this team was good.
Is this a?
That is where it gets tricky. And I know James Harden averaged, what do you average? 22, 9, and 6. Like, he had a great year. Tyrese Halliburton started off slow, but man, he came on strong, and they're continuing to play great. I think he was
You know what this reeks of?
21 and 11 type of guy, but man, I don't know. This is tough.
Harden's almost like a legacy name, right? Like, you could not watch any basketball this year, and you'd still be like, oh, James Harden. And Sengun, and I feel like the Rockets, maybe people aren't paying attention yet. Maybe they're too young. They're like, we're not there yet. Let's give it a minute.
Again, I think Cade should have been second team. Cat can also be second team. Jalen Williams, you can't have a problem with that, how good he's been, the way he defends, does everything. So the two guards, and it's not even position, so it doesn't matter that it's a big or whatever.
Exactly.
So I don't want to take anyone off because all these guys had great seasons, but Sengun, I could argue he could have made second team, let alone getting left off third team.
Do you know what I find fascinating, and especially in this year in which we're watching the playoffs against the backdrop of Tyrese Halliburton having been voted the most overrated player in the league? Neither one of you had him on an all-NBA team. There is something to this Halliburton.
It's the start.
thing.
It's the start for me that he had. He really struggled.
Okay.
And again, I think that stuck with us, and I think the Pacers kind of are a team that flew under the radar, that are proving everybody wrong, right? I mean, this team is great. This team is still playing. They have a chance to go to the NBA Finals.
Yeah,
so they obviously deserve someone on the team. And what's interesting here is Siakam was an all-star. Halliburton wasn't.
Right.
Halliburton's all-NBA. Siakam's not. So they literally
Which one would you rather have?
I'd rather have Halliburton. I love his game.
I'm saying if you're a player.
All NBA is way more impressive, right? And I think you get...
Because money?
Yeah, you get much, you get heavily compensated.
Cash money?
Well, I've apologized twice. I ain't apologizing no more.
Lose
they deserve an all-NBA player, and it's Tyrese Halliburton is their best player.
Fair enough. Yeah. By the way, the money thing is weird. And I used to have a vote in this, and it always made me very, very uncomfortable. And I think it was the year Tatum was up for something, and I was like, it should not be Michelle Beadle's place to affect millions and millions of dollars for a man I don't know. And so you kind of have to do the right thing there. And in this case, both Cade Cunningham and Evan Mobley will earn an extra $45 million. Why you hate this, by the way. I kind of love that you hate it.
And Jaren Jackson, who, by the way, whether you love him or not, he was 10 votes or something off from getting a supermax.
So that is what, $200 million difference?
But what bothers me is, you know how hyped the Grizzlies are that they don't have to pay him that now? And
That's not right, though, is it?
And now, like a Pistons team, them giving Cade an extra $45-50 million, that hurts them. That hurts their chances of going to get other players. So I think it needs to be treated like a signing bonus for like an NFL player or something like that. So we looked it up. Doesn't affect the cap.
The NFL, it does count against the cap, but they stretch it out over the terms of the deal instead of like, bam, $45 million.
That helps. That helps a bit, but it's just weird the idea of that your player was so good for your team the previous year could now hurt the future of your team by getting so much money. Yeah.
You want the best players on your team, but then you get in trouble.
How can you fix it? I disagree with the media having so much influence on you. They can cost you $200 million.
Like you had a vote.
Yeah, I felt very uncomfortable. So I would.
If you're the reason that cost me $150 million,
which is why I would always vote. If I knew what the monies were, what was at stake, then I would always. Because at the end of the day, who cares? I should not have a say in that, nor should the guy on my left and right. So do the right thing. But yes, this Jaren Jackson situation is exactly why I don't like it. It's uncomfortable. $200 million being affected.
And that could just be something personally with someone, or like an encounter that you had with that reporter that stuck with him that is not fair for your financial status. So this makes no sense.
But what's the alternative?
I don't think this is the case, but I would love to see what the alternative is.
Yeah, because what is the fix? We've already seen players vote.
You also can't do fans either, because that would make it even way worse.
That's a popularity.
Players, same thing. You see the Tyrese Halliburton's the most overrated player. That's not going to work, because that's going to be petty votes too.
Like, is there a way to sort of analytically have a chart where you have to, okay, if this person does...
What is it? Are we rewarding winning?
At the end of the day, everybody is affected by everything in this business. Even if you get the fans to do it, there's going to be a problem. You get the coaches to do it, there's going to be a problem. You get the players, media, so on and so forth, there's going to be caveats no matter which way.
I like coaches doing it, and you can't vote for your own players.
Well, you don't, because again, if I'm a coach and I'm being petty and I'm looking at a possible playoff matchup, I'm going to piss this guy off, and I'm gonna ring his bell and I'm gonna cost him some cheese. Or if I want an opportunity to go get a guy and I want him to be more affordable for my team, and I can possibly go get him in the offseason, I can rig that up as well. Everybody has something at stake here. There's no easy way to get out of it.
God,
there's pros and cons for all of them. I'm trying to think here, but there's gonna be issues with it.
Of course there is.
Every scenario,
this is weird.
The media aspect.
Don't love it.
Why are we getting them involved on people's money?
Now that
Them.
now
First
that
of all,
part I
you
don't
were
love.
them, by the way.
Now, if it was anything, we could change.
We're media. I don't want to vote. Like this
That's what I'm saying.
It's weird.
It's a very weird vote to have.
I kind of do, but I don't.
Some things are fun to vote on. This one, I always thought there were too many ramifications.
It's not fun to vote when I'm changing your life.
Yeah.
Also, this is me just thinking movie script out loud, but who's to say like a media person doesn't come up to somebody here that's up for like a $200 million extension and be like, hey, here's the deal. You're on the bubble right now, and I'm kind of one of the swaying votes.
Yeah.
Give me $10 million. And I'll make
Don't
sure
put any ideas out there.
these are things I think about in the privacy of my
If
home.
I get an extra 200 to get that, I'm probably going to
Give me
listen.
10? All right, see, there you go.
Minimum.
Don't put that out there, man.
I'm putting it out there. And by the
There you
way,
go.
no, it's just something I thought of, and I'm not the only one.
Until
It happens. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side, John Halliburton has been unleashed.
He's back.
Back into the building tonight. We'll talk about the game coming up later.
But in